So today we have another actress from Little House on the Prairie. And a week or so ago, I had Dean Butler on, and I didn't know Dean before, and I don't know Alison yet. However, my producer has been in contact with their manager, and so they've been, coming on the podcast, and they both have books. Today, Alison will be talking about her book, Confessions of a Prairie Bitch, which I think is a fantastic title. I love it. And I love the pictures, too. It reminds me of... what's that old movie, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane? But I'm going to talk to her about that too. But she has a lot of great stories, and I know her book was very, very candid. It was very, very personal, and she's been through a lot of things in her personal life with her family, and I'm really looking forward to getting to know her. I know a lot of people have told me that she's just an amazing performer. Like, she does comedy. I believe she had a one-woman show. And I have some friends that are really big fans of hers. So I'm looking forward to meeting Alison Arngrim. Welcome to my podcast, where I'll be speaking with guests candidly about interesting topics. So join me on Candid with Kimbra. Hey everyone, today I'm really excited. I have Alison Arngrim, and I hope I'm saying your name right. Am I saying it right? I am? Okay.
Yes,
I was going to tell you, when I told a few of my friends that you were coming on, and this is no joke, they were like, I love her.
Oh my God. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I have a massively rabid fan base. It's very cool.
Yeah, one of my friends, her name's Leah Sargent. I don't know if you know her. I don't know if she knows you personally, but she said she knows of you. Her father.
Well, right. Okay. Yeah, right.
Director. But anyway, So when I was looking at your book, so everybody, she has a book. It's called Confessions of a Prairie Bitch, which I love that title. I love that title.
People started calling me that like the day after the first show aired, so I just kind of went with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. And the cover of the book, it reminds me of that old movie, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane,
That wig. Well, that's what's so hilarious. People said, oh, that wig, Betty Davis and Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. The hairdresser, Larry Germain, who did my hair and who sat down with the wig maker, Ziggy Geike, wig maker to the stars. This guy was like 90 even then. He had done everybody. Larry's first job in Hollywood was being Betty Davis's hairdresser. His first day. They're like, you're shampooing Miss Betty Davis. He was terrified. He goes and gets every bottle of shampoo and conditioner, every brand he can find. He's like, I don't know what Betty Davis was. And she comes in, she's like, I'll just rinse it out in the sink with some Dreft, which is laundry detergent. So yeah, she completely did not care, and they became best friends. But yeah, so it totally does. Yes, it completely looks like Betty Davis.
Yeah,
so,
or what's that other movie? Gosh, what was it? I think it was in the late 50s. It's called The Bad Seed. Do you remember that movie,
Yes. Oh, no, she's one of my idols. Yeah, Patty McCormick, and I've met her. She's awesome. That was definitely one of my formative experience movies. I used to, before cable, would come on in the middle of the night. And my friend Chrissy Norton, who looks like me, we both had the straight blonde hair and the bangs. And we would literally have a slumber party, go, hey, Bad Seed's on this weekend. And we'd have a slumber party, and we would put on party dresses and tap shoes and braid our hair. Oh, yeah, no, it was like Rocky Horror Show for 9-year-olds. It was twisted, very twisted.
I could see that. So now you've got the book. When did the book come out, by the way?
I actually put the book out in 2010, and then the paperback a couple years later, and then the wound up doing the audiobook just a couple years ago, because nowadays everyone does the audiobook while they're writing the book. But back then we did. But yeah, it's been out for eons, and here's the crazy thing. I just got orders for it yesterday. I just mailed out some copies this morning. I got an email with my numbers for book sales and for sales of the audiobook, and I was like, is that from this week? And it's just people are still buying it. I am so pleased.
That is awesome. Yeah, I told Dean I was going to get a copy of his book, but I want yours too, because a friend of mine is a total Little House fanatic. He grew up on it, and he's just, when he found out Dean was going to be on it, and now so he was like, oh my gosh, I'm totally watching those episodes, those podcasts. So now you did a one-woman show too, right?
Yeah, in fact, the book came from that. A lot of people do the book and then the show. I think that's the normal way, but I've never been normal. So I was doing the show, and a literary agent came to my show, and he's like, is there a book to go with this? And I'm like, there could be. So we wound up doing this for the book. And I have a show. I'm touring. Actually, my 2025 tour is starting on May 11th. I'm going to be in New York City. I'll be at the Cutting Room in New York. And I'm just looking. It's like, oh my God, these dates. It's like completely insane. Let's see, where's the whole list? Yes. Okay. So I just did France and then Atlanta. And then
Wait,
it's
wait,
New
wait.
York.
Wait, you went to France, like the
Yeah,
country?
I have one other show I do in French in France. I have the American show and then the French show.
Oh,
9 shows sold out.
wow!
I got
Congratulations.
shows in October in France. Like 2 of them are sold out already.
So France, and then back to America.
Yeah,
France. Okay.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So rack
So
it
I
up.
did Atlanta. So May 11th is New York, and then May 15th I go down to Nashville, and then over to Louisville on the 16th. June I'm in Chicago and San Diego. July I'm in Provincetown, and I pop into San Francisco in November. And I'm adding more dates, But it's people just they can't get enough of Little House. The French can't get enough of their La Petite Maison dans la Prairie. And I talk about everything. I talk about my mother being the voiceover person and a crazy Hollywood family and being an ex-child star, all of that. But people really like it. And we're doing these, Dean no doubt told you, these Little House reunion things with the fans, with the cast. Insane. Absolute thousands of people show up at these things. And we're just like, it's been 50 years. No, Simi Valley, we did our 50, 18,000 people over 3 days.
Wow.
We're just bowled over. So we're doing it again. We got a thing up in Northern California in June. And we're just going to keep doing this. And this Netflix thing is just making it crazier. It's just making people get nuttier.
I discovered. I was telling Dean. I discovered Little House during the pandemic because my aunt was really into cozy TV. Right. So she's like, "We're watching Little
Mhm.
House."
And I got into the books because I hadn't read the books before the show. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I read the books after I got the part. So when the pandemic hit and I was stuck at home, I said, well, I got something to do. I'll go back and reread the books. I got time. And then I went, wait, everybody else is home alone and bored. So I went on Facebook and said, I'm going to read the Little House books. Book 1, chapter 1, page 1, Little House in the Big Woods, and see how this goes. I read all 9 books. I read books about Laura, other books by Laura, books by Laura's daughter Rose. Then I read some of Anna Green Gables because she's like the Canadian Laura Ingalls, and then some Wizard of Oz. And then I wound up reading the Little House books, all 9, again. I read like every day for 2 years. Oh, Dean read too. He said, I want to do the Long Winter. It's my favorite one. I go, you're on. You get Tuesday. You go do the Long Winter. It was craziness, and so many people got into the books and tuned in, and I think that fed part of the rabid fan prairie monster that we have here.
Well, yeah, Dean was making the observation that, that what's going on today that is still relevant with Little House is
Yeah,
still relevant. It's like we need more Little House.
God, we do. Well, and that's the thing. Like the books came out right when the Great Depression, right at the height of the Great Depression. Oh, look, here's these books. And people, oh, I feel so much better. And then there was a huge recession in '74 when the show came on. So it's like we're there. And the pandemic, everyone tuned in. We have an episode called Quarantine and one called Plague. It's like when times are hard, Little House on the Prairie is there for you. And this Netflix thing is going to be great because they're going back to the books. It's like starting the whole thing just over from the beginning. They're going to go back to the books. We're streaming on everything. We're on Amazon. There's Roku has a channel that is only Little House of the Prairie, just Little House of the Prairie, 24 hours a day. So they're going to watch our streaming again. And it's just going to like fan the flames of my book and Dean's book and everything we're doing. So,
Awesome.
I can't wait till we're doing cast reunions with the new cast and our cast all at the same time.
Did you stay in touch with the actress that played your mom? Because I just thought she was such
Oh,
a,
yeah.
you know what?
She was an amazing woman. She was opinionated and argumentative like Mrs. Olson and loud and kind of crazy like Mrs. Olson, but an absolute like a saint. I mean, she would take care of sick people in her building. She'd just knock on the neighbors say to knock on her door, hi, I'm here to do all your housework and make all your meals and drive you to the doctor. I'm sorry, who are you? I mean, she's just that's who she was. She just loved everybody and children and animals, but she would, drive like 85 miles an hour to the set and get pulled over and then argue with the cops about the ticket, like as Mrs. Olson would do. I mean, she definitely had Mrs. Olson in her. She was wild.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, because I really liked her. I mean, she was such a, the woman, the actress that you love to hate. I could see
Yes.
where you got her qualities on the show.
She was so, it's crazy because she was really into Eastern mysticism and meditation. She was a member of the Vedanta temple, and I was a teenager, and she was giving me books on Swami Chetananda and Vivekananda and meditation methods. And I'm like, this is not who you think of when you think of this. Is
She was a real LA, you know. Um,
Fancy yeah.
so now, is your show ever coming to LA or Southern California? Your one.
Right, because I live here and I keep leaving to go
All right.
perform. No, I don't have one. The closest, I guess, is San Diego. I am going to San Diego in June. That's going to be good. I am going to be in Pasadena on May 24th at Pasadena Comic Con, so my friends can come see me.
Okay.
We've got a thing in Simi Valley, which I think is just, God, that's like soon. Yeah, May 3rd. On Saturday, May 3rd, me and Dean and some of the other cast members will be in Simi Valley. They're having a street fair. We're going to be there signing books and stuff. So we'll be in town there.
Great.
But yeah, we're all over the place.
Wow. Yeah, I can see that. So I want to ask you though,
Sure.
before I forget, were there, I know you auditioned for the Melissa Gilbert part, right?
Isn't that weird? That's so crazy.
I know. And then, so what did Michael Landon think of you for Nellie? Is that how it happened?
Something about it. I mean, I read for Laura and Mary, and I knew I wasn't going to get those. And then when they made the pilot, I just went, well, yes, look, of course, they've hired these people. This makes much more sense. And I forgot all about it. And then I get this call because now they're doing the show and they need all the people from the town. I have no clue. I get there and I'm handed the sides and I didn't know there was a Nellie Oleson. And I'm reading this, and that's when I turned to my father and said, this girl is a bitch. And he started cracking up. And I absolutely, I was hired on the spot. And I think absolutely, I think something happened in the reading that went, okay, she's not Laura Mary, but we need her for something. And then it was like, oh, there's an edge there. And that was it. I nailed that puppy.
Awesome. And so you were on how many years total?
7. And it's weird because it's 7 years and then one episode because I did my 7 years. I had a 7-year contract. So I did 7 years. And then it became Little House, A New Beginning, and a bunch of people left. But then they call me back in season 9. Can you come back and do this one episode, this whole thing, the return of Nellie? And I'm like, yeah, okay. And it was crazy. They don't normally do that. In Hollywood, you leave a show. They go, whatever. They don't just call you back randomly and ask you to come to. Never happens. But there you are. And I did. So, yeah.
Wow, and did you stay in touch with Michael Landon after the show was over?
A little bit, not as much. I would see him around town. If I ever was on the MGM lot for stuff, I would see him. And we never, I mean, it's crazy. When he got sick, we were all just dumbfounded. I mean, he was one of those people that you absolutely, if you knew him, you said, well, this guy's going to outlive everybody. He'll outlive all of us.
Mhm.
Die? What this guy? He's never sick. And now, unfortunately, he was also one of those people who's like, I'm not sick and didn't want to go to the doctor, which, is a really good thing. And that took him it was a while before he was really diagnosed, and that was part of it. But he was one of those people who was not sick and was simply going to be here forever. I mean, he was working on a 4th show. He'd done Bonanza and Little House, Highway to Heaven. And they ran the unfinished pilot. It was so good. They ran the unfinished pilot after he died. And it would have been another hit had he lived. It would have gone for 4 for 4.
Oh my God, that guy was such a production genius, I
Right?
mean, he just knew, like Dean was saying, he knew how to end the show,
Yep.
and he was just an amazing producer, it sounds like, even to get it
He
off the ground.
knew. He knew what people wanted. I mean, he'd been on Bonanza and he knew what worked. He knew how to direct, and he was, instrumental in the casting. I mean, we had Susan McCrae, casting, but he would pick people. He used to get in trouble all the time because he would hire people during the audition. He would go, I didn't say you're hired. And the other producer would be like, shh, we have to talk to the network.
I
We have
love
to
that.
call their agent. We don't even know how much this is going to be. Like, it's like, oh, right. Well, I'll talk to you in a couple of days. Pat Laboratory hired on the spot. Pat Laboratory went to an audition, and he and several boys, they said, well, we want to do kind of a callback. We're going to take you guys out to see me where they're filming, and you'll meet Michael. And they went, oh, wow. Okay. So I'll pile in the cars. They go out to the set, and they meet Michael, and they do a quick reading, and they say, thank you. And they all get up to leave, and Michael grabs Pat by the shoulder and goes, not you. And he's like, what? And he goes, get him into costume. He put him to work. He read for the part and he went, come here. And then they made him go to work.
I love
And
that.
nobody does that. That's not a thing. And but Michael would do that. He go, I want you, I want you, I want her, because and that chemistry really between the actors, I think, is what made it work.
Right, right. But I love that because then you wouldn't leave the audition going, "Oh, did I get it? Did I not get it?"
Well, and Dina drove crazy because he totally made it out like you got it, and he's like, "Well, wait, I have to make some call." And then he had to wait. He's like, "I totally got it. He just told me I had it when I left the room." And it's like, "Yes, yes, yes, yes. We had to go talk to the network. Yes, you're doing it." But yeah, I mean, my dad and I walked out, got in the car, drove home, and my agent was on the phone going, "What did you do over there?" They just called me and said, "We're done. We're not seeing anyone else." So yeah, I got it immediately. It was crazy.
So after Little House ended, like, did you continue working, or did you get out of the biz for a while?
Well, kind of. I mean, yeah. There was a lot of typecasting. My agent literally had a conversation with the casting director about a part. He said, "Oh, I was so right for it." He called her and she said, "Oh no, this show takes place in present day." And
Right. Like
she's
I'm a
not
one note
Pioneer
pony, right?
Barbie. She doesn't come with the dress. But I did love that. I did Fantasy Island. I did a TV movie with Marie Osmond. I did all the game shows. That was fun. I did a bunch of stuff, and then of course I toured. I was doing stand up even then, and I toured with that. I did a lot of theater because that's what I was raised in. My parents had met in
Yeah.
theater, so I kept doing that. And then in the '80s, when Steve Tracy, who played my husband on the show, got sick and he went public with his AIDS diagnosis, I got very involved in working for AIDS Project Los Angeles, Tuesday's Child, all these groups. So I did a
Right.
lot of that. And then in these last few years, I have the one woman show. It just morphed into this whole thing, the whole confession show, which has taken on a life of its own, and the book. And then, like I said, I didn't think we'd be having autograph shows and cast reunions year 50, year 51. We are inundated. We are mobbed. So all of us, so we're all doing it.
So is it going to be Confessions of a Prairie Bitch, the movie?
Right? We do. I think we need this. Who plays me? Oh dear. I'm
Well,
terrified. Who
you're gonna,
plays me?
yeah, right. You got to do. Who will pick? Who will choose? Who will play you? That's a good question. Well, at least you'll be involved with the casting if that happens, right?
Right. Jodie Foster plays me current day because apparently we were separated at birth. I don't know. It's. Well, when I was a kid, we're same age. We'd read for everything. If Jodie Foster showed up to read for something, or if you found out Jodie Foster was, all of us kids at the audition would be like, "Okay, fine. Should we just leave now?" Because
Right?
Jodie Foster's reading for it. And then she'd get it, and you couldn't be mad because she'd do it so perfectly. You're just like, I can't even hate her because she's like
Because she's so
nailing it.
good, you
It's
know.
so good. I can't even mad she got it because she's like perfect.
Yeah, I remember reading somewhere where she was like, I mean, she just seemed like she did everything. She went. I think she went to Yale, right? She went to Yale. She's like a
Oh
type,
yeah.
you know, and
Fluent in French. She does her own French dubbing. They said movies, TV shows over. And I mean, I met the woman who did the voice of Nellie in France. I met her, but Jodie Foster literally has done some of her own French dubbing. It's like,
I know.
who
What
does
does the
this?
woman not do, right?
Yeah,
So
she's freaking genius.
I know. So you stayed in Los Angeles. I mean, you've never left Los Angeles after.
I've never left. I know one of those like, where are they now? It's like, damn, she never left. I've just been, hanging out in LA doing weird things, doing stand up and web series and independent films and strange theater projects and just stuff. I just keep popping up like a bad penny.
Oh, well, I mean, you've got a lot of energy, so that's great. I mean, a one-woman show, that's very
Yes,
difficult to do, you know?
it is, but I've really enjoyed it. And boy, the fans sure like it. So I'm like, yep, I will deliver.
Oh, that's great. Well, I am just so honored that you came on my podcast because, like I said, everybody I was telling about you, they were like, I love her, you know?
So, well, tell them I love them. Say hi from Nettie. Say,
Yeah. Well, maybe I can drag them to what you said, Pasadena, right? Where you do
yeah,
the.
come to Pasadena. We'll be hanging out at the Comic Con, and if they want to jump in the car and come down to San Diego,
Yeah.
that's not that far. I'm to be there.
Diego,
Okay,
San Diego might work, but I'm definitely going to order
cool.
the book. And
Good, good, good.
is there another book in the works at some point, or?
Well, you sound like my agent. Yes, yeah, I am working on the. Dean's got another book right away.
I
He's like, I
know.
just need just he's like, and now I have another one. I'm like, how do you
He
do
told
that?
me that he was
And
like,
he,
when I was talking to him, he's like, Kimbra,
yeah,
I have another book. And I'm like, oh, well, you got to come back on when you do that one.
Yeah, and he keeps telling me, so when's your next book? I'm like, stop, shut up. But I'm working on a cookbook. I have to finish the cookbook first because I love cooking. And during the pandemic, I started cooking for people online. Like, you want to see here, I'm gonna make eggs. And I had cooking videos on YouTube, and it was so popular. And I've always cooked, which is hilarious because on the show, Nellie couldn't cook. Nellie was a nightmare in the
I
kitchen.
know.
I, of course, can make anything, and it's wonderful, hilarious. So I have all these recipes for people who think they can't cook. I can teach anyone to cook, so I have to cook.
And it looks like you're a kind of a big reader because I see a lot of books in your background there.
Yeah, yeah. This is just one of many massively full of bookshelves. Yes, I am. If I could go like move in, live in a library or bookstore, I probably would do
I
that.
know. Well, thank you so much, Allison, for
Thank
coming on
you.
the show. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to have links underneath for your book. And
Terrific.
do you have a website and all that stuff? You have
Absolutely. I mean, I'm on Facebook and Instagram, but Bonnet Heads, bonnetheads.com, Bonnet
bonheads.com. Okay.
ATADS, because those prairie fans and they wear the bonnets, the bonnet heads. The
Well,
bonnet heads.
you're a delight, and thank you so much for coming on. And
Thank you.
I hope to be coming to either Pasadena or San Diego. I'll let you know. I mean,
Fantastic. Come see me.
I'll tell
Cool.
Harlan. All
Yes, yes. Well, you come on down. Okay, cool.
right. Thanks a lot. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Talk to
Okay.
you soon.
Bye.
Bye.